Hey, Tuesday night. You know the drill. Total Schmidt Show. Tonight, Keon Polee. Uh-oh, car. Keon Polee is my guest tonight. Buckle up. Welcome to Total Schmidt Show. How you doing? I'm back at sea. Here's what you're going to get from this show. It's kind of like quarantine comedy, except I'm not going to be home. Actually, it's kind of like quarantine comedy and a combination of all the stuff I've done online over the last year or so. There's sketch stuff, live stuff, stand-up stuff, travel stuff, and of course, conversations with others who do the same things that I do on a daily basis. That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? Man, maybe. Sort of. Could be. Either way, sit back. I hope you enjoy whatever the hell it is I put together for this week on Total Schmidt Show. Good?
Yeah.
All right, man. Dude, we just talk. I don't do an interview or anything like that. It's just we just fucking talk. Yeah. But like, where are you going next? Where are you going when you're out of here?
Oh, are we starting?
Yeah.
Oh, we're in.
I hear record when you walk in the door, bro.
Cold. Oh, for real?
Yeah. Dude, I'll get it. I mean, I'll start it. It needs a place, but
Cold,
you know
cold opens. Where am I at after this?
you go home, right? Because you don't do more than a week.
Yeah. So I'm out of here, and then I go. I'm in Vegas, LA Comedy Club, April 3rd through the 9th.
Oh shit! All right, right.
Yeah. So after I get here, I'll take a week home. You know, do spots around LA or whatever. If maybe, possibly, I don't know. And then out again.
You got how many kids? Two.
Yeah.
And they're how old?
7 and 5.
Oh, dude, that's a rough age to be traveling when they're little. You know what I mean?
They get it though. Like when they were babies, I felt like whatever. And then like when they were in like that middle stage, they're kind of like, oh, what are you doing? Where are you going? But now they like know what I do.
Yeah.
And they know and then now they know that like I have to do this to get money. So they're kind of like, get out, like get on the road because we want stuff. Like it's
Wait,
kind of
Dad, the more you travel, the more stuff we get?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I gotta go to work. And my oldest would be like, oh, cool, because we want to pool this year. And I'm like, what? So they don't even care that I'm gone.
Yeah, my daughters they're like that too, and I had to miss one of their birthdays.
Oh,
and I got to miss your birthday. She's like, why are you working? I go, oh no, that's good. Good for you, Dad.
So what am I getting from a birthday?
3 week celebrity. Oh, that means I'll get a great birthday. Yeah, right. She's thinking about a birthday present. Is what she's thinking. Yeah, but they're the same way. Plus, my kids now, they're 20 and 19.
Yeah, you got adults.
Dude, they're like two little fucking LA girls.
Yeah.
Living in the valley and shit.
How's having daughters of that age? They're of dating age. They're of, all that stuff.
Dude, it's you know what? You'll know. You have both boys?
I have 2 boys.
Man, I don't worry about my daughters. I worry about other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I worry about. Like, my kids are really, I'm lucky, dude. I travel. Those kids got their shit together.
Right.
If I was in their situation, I would be a fuck up. I'd be partying and stuff. But they really, I mean, they're really good kids. They're not into any shit. Most of their friends are good people. But I worry about them just fucking meeting the wrong guy. And,
right.
You know what I mean? And my oldest is real smart about that shit. She's been on a few dates where she's like, fuck that guy. I know all he wants to do is get my pants. She knows right away.
That's all of them. Right.
And she's real picky about it.
Yeah.
And which I'm great with. I'm like, fuck, good. I'm glad you're a little picky.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. So I'm more. But then even when they're careful, man, they're women. They're young women.
Yeah.
You hear about these stories. I was a young guy. I've seen shit happen. So that's what I worry about. I worry about them being taken advantage of.
Right.
So that's freaky.
I know. People think like when you have sons, you don't like think about any of that stuff, but you still do. Like I think about all the time, like them, meeting some girl that's clearly, because if I'm doing the math, you know what I'm saying, like by the time they're of that age, financially we're going to be fantastic.
Right.
They're good-looking kids. They'll have, they're athletic. So I'm like, you have all these things going for you. I'm just worried about the type of girls, especially living in LA, Hollywood, that's going to be chasing them. Like, what can I get out of you? So I'm gonna put them on game. Like, hey, bro, like,
dude, you knock somebody up at 18 or something, your life is over. You get a kid for life.
So I'm worried about that kind of stuff. What type of women are going to be coming after my boys?
Right.
And and them, hopefully they're not like girl crazy like I was, but I can see like some of the signs already. I'm like, damn it, these dudes. Hopefully they'll get focused on what they're doing. So it's like, oh, I'll worry about that when it happens.
Right.
But I mean, they already like girls like so much, and I'm like, just stay focused, bro.
My youngest used to be real boy crazy too. She'd
She always was. She was more so than my oldest.
Yeah.
She's way better now though. She's grown up. She's gotten better.
Right.
Because she was dating some shitbags early on. You know.
Yeah.
And I would be like, and you don't want to go because the second you say don't do this, they do it.
Right.
That's what happens with kids. So I never, you know, I had a couple boyfriends like I fucking hate this kid. You know,
Right.
whatever. But then as she's gotten older, I've noticed her standards have gone up.
Right.
So she dates more decent guys, which is great. So she's
Right.
learned from kind of men.
Right. You gotta go through it.
Yeah,
They're not gonna
and-
listen.
Dude, that's the worst thing in the world is when they're hurting. You know, when your
Yeah.
kids, shit happens with your kids that's emotional that you can't make go away, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend
Right.
situation. You just gotta, and that's stupid. There's many fish in the sea. It's gonna happen. Speech. Fuck. What do you? That's all you
Yeah.
do is give them that fucking.
Right.
You're like, sorry, your heart's broken. It's gonna happen again. You fucking-
I know, like for me, like the hardest thing as being a parent for me is like just they haven't been through stuff, so it's just like I can tell you already what's gonna happen,
right.
but you're not gonna listen to me because you have to like you can see this stuff coming a mile away, and you're like, well, this you're gonna do this, and then this is gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, well, how did we get here? And I'm like, I told you.
Yeah.
And then so my thing is like to not be frustrated when they do the dumb shit that I know they're gonna do.
Right.
Like, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah,
like-
because you're looking at it as a grown
Yeah.
man mind,
Right.
and not a kid that's gonna make these mistakes. And when my kids will make us, and they'll get mad at themselves. My kids are hard on themselves, so they'll get really pissed at themselves, and I'll be like, I go, shit happens, man. Just lighten
Yeah.
up. You know, it's a mistake. You learn from it. Don't do it again. You know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's a lot of shit you're gonna learn the hard way. You just gotta, you know, you gotta watch it happen.
Right. And I think I'll be okay with that. I mean, we talked about that yesterday. Like, I'll be okay with the mistakes as long as they don't repeat them. Like, you're gonna make mistakes.
Right.
Everybody fucks up.
Right.
But then if I see it like a habit, I'm like, oh, this is the third time.
Yeah.
That's when I'm gonna start losing it. Like, bro, at what point are you gonna get it?
Yeah. This is
Like,
you do this yourself, bro.
Yeah.
This is
Like,
your-
but if it's I did this, you know, it happens. But repeated behavior is when I get frustrated. That's with anybody. Like,
Right.
It could be a friend, relative. When I see repeated behavior, I'd be like, God damn, do you learn anything?
yeah, right.
I can't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, just when we were talking about that the other
Yeah, I
day.
can't
We're like,
take it.
I can't even hear the stories anymore. So you know what happened? I go, I don't want to know. I know what happened, and I don't want to talk about it
No.
because you keep fucking doing this to yourself.
Right, and I just can't. I can't reward stupidity. Like I can't, cause like
Right.
I feel like people succumb, and everybody who knows me knows I'm not the most like. I'm a thinker first, emotion second. So like when people just ride their whole life on like knee-jerk reactions, or I'm like, that was a choice. Like everything you do is a choice. Well, so and so made me act. No, they didn't. No, they didn't make you do anything. Like I hate when I see women say that, you know, a lot. They'll be like, well, what did you do to make her crazy? No. No, dude made you crazy.
Right,
You
right.
you chose to react to some bullshit that he did or whatever. I'm not even excusing his actions, but you had a choice of how you wanted to react to it, and you chose this.
Right.
He didn't make you crazy. Like
Right.
I see, and the same with dudes. You know, oh, well, what did you do though, bro? And then
Yeah.
you have a choice how you react to that.
Well, no one makes you do anything.
No.
That's a cop out for anyone.
Right.
You go, well, they made me mad or they made me this. You go, you choose how to. Your actions are your own. I used to say that's my ex. She hated that phrase. I used to say it all the time. We would have arguments. She'd do something, you know, that would be fucked up or whatever.
Right.
And I go, well, you made me mad or you made me this. I go, no, your actions are your own.
Right.
So you own those. So she hated. That was one of the.
Because then you have to point your finger at yourself, and nobody wants to do that.
No.
Everybody hates
Yeah, 'cause
accountability.
you're blaming someone else for your shit, kind of. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're like, you made me do this. My brothers, I grew up with that shit. My mom and everybody, we all did that.
Yeah.
Well, you should have made your brother mad. I go, no, he's a fucking grown man. He can,
Right.
What?
And then my thing is because people be like, well, human emotion is normal. And I'm like, it is, and everybody has it. My issue or my lack of understanding with people is you choosing to live in that emotion. Every one of us is gonna get sad, pissed, you know, whatever.
Right.
But how long do you stay there?
Right.
That'd be my thing. People love dwelling in emotion, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when I'd be like, now that shit's running you.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, okay, you're pissed. But then you're staying pissed, and now you done did some dumb shit, or you're staying sad, and now you can like, all right, you had the feeling, now let's go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but people love to just live. They just want to feel something.
Right.
They don't care what it is.
Right.
They don't care what it is. Want to feel something. I'm like, ah.
Well, it's kind of a victim thing, too.
Yeah.
Like, people play the victim card, and they're like, oh, I can't believe I'm going through this. And you're like, you don't have to be going through this, dude. It's your own.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you're fucking dwelling in this shit yourself.
Yeah.
You're
Because they
doing-
like
you know,
it. They
yeah.
like they just want to feel something. And I'm just like, I'd rather, because people be like, oh, there's no way you could be this happy all the time. I'm like, that's a choice that I make.
Yeah.
I choose. I'm a, glass half full. I'm like,
Right.
shit happens, and then, keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're not. What do people like to say? You're not dealing with. No, I did. I processed all that, and then I
Yeah.
made a choice. You get the fork in the road. I can go here. I can go here.
Yeah.
I chose here.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I chose to do.
Right.
Doesn't mean I didn't feel what happened.
Right.
It's just like, and even the good stuff. I don't even dwell in the good too long.
Right.
You know, like we know, like in our jobs, you know, you might get something. It's like, yeah, I got this, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, back to even kill, and then I gotta make moves. Some people like to stay here,
Right.
and then when that negative thing comes, they can't handle it.
Well, it's almost like a dopamine kind of effect because I mean, our positive negatives come on a daily basis,
Right.
Sometimes multiple times. Like an audition, it's like we're working in a lottery, kind of. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, it's hard work goes into our shows and stuff. You have a good show, that's great. But if you book like a new line, or you book a gig or a commercial or something happens huge, then you're stoked about it. But then it comes and goes so fucking
Right.
fast.
It's
You
life's
can't
up
let
and
it
down.
go. That was nothing my ex would go crazy on. She would go crazy when I'd audition for stuff and I wouldn't get it. It would drive her crazy. She would be like, "What are you gonna?" Because I met her. I was a road comic when I met her. I mean, we're surviving. But she was always like, "When are you gonna hit it or make it?" I go, "I don't know what you're talking about, hitting it or making it. I'm making a living, so I mean, we're good." But when I would get it, I get a huge, I was up for a couple of things that were big, like this thing on the HBO, and I go, she goes, "You get it?" I go, "No," and she would get so mad. I go, "Why are you mad?" I hear no 90% of the time.
Right.
Yeah, if you're gonna be mad every time there's a no, man, our life is gonna blow. This
Right.
is. You got to be able, especially us, man. Dude, it's every 10 seconds. Think about it when you're on stage, right?
And maybe, because I go through this thing all the time of is it nature or nurture, like who we are as people.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, the older I get, I think I can't tell if it was the chicken or the egg thing. I can't tell if I've always been this way, or if because all the things I've done in life have just made me this way.
Right.
Whether it's from sports to now comedy I'm just used to losing. I'm used to winning.
Right.
Like, and it's just like. On to the next play, on to the next game, all the, and then like you said, every 10 seconds on stage, that one didn't work. Well, on to the next joke. Like, so I'm just used to everything I've done my whole life is just, all right, move on. Like that's how it works. But my mom, when I was a kid, I asked my mom, how was I as a kid? Like and she was like, you were always just like, meh. Like, and even when it came to like, most kids wanted to be up under their parents or hugged all the time. You were like, nah, I'm good. Like, I just want to chill out.
You're just an even keel dude.
Yeah, she was like, you're just chilling. You're just chilling. I was like, all right, well,
that's good, man.
Life's too. I feel like life is just too much to be just living on emotion like that. It looks when I watch people do it, it looks tiresome. Like it's
exhausting.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
I changed a lot after my divorce. I think I went to therapy and went through a lot of changes and shit. And that was a big turning point for me. Like even before then, I was good with the auditioning, not getting stuff.
Right.
But I was able to let shit go more when I went through after the divorce and I went to therapy. But I mention it because then I felt like I lost like 100 pounds. I mean, it felt like I feel lighter.
Right.
Like, oh fuck, like this stuff isn't weighing me down anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've gotten better at it. But what helped me get there too also was the career. Early on when we're starting out, you're constantly trying to get ahead and get a gig or get an audition. And doing that, and the more negatives I got, the more I got it. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get how this is gonna roll. And you just figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think people get that. You're gonna lose probably more than you win in life. Like way more, actually.
Way more. Right.
And it's just, but are the losses really that big of a deal? Or it's like even if you look at something like baseball. In baseball, you're a Hall of Famer, only getting it right 30% of the time.
Yeah, right. That's
you're
a great
Hall
analogy.
of Famer.
Sure.
Hall of Famer,
batting
only getting it right 30% of the time.
Yeah.
And it's like.
Yeah, that's insane.
So in life, if you get it right 30% of the time, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna win like that.
Right.
Even in basketball, with 50% is like ideal. So that's half the time.
Right.
Getting it right half the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
Anybody who thinks you're just gonna be, I'm flying all A's. Like no,
right.
Like, you're not living at 90%.
Well, I wonder. Like I always talk about this, man. I wonder how these generations, these younger kids growing up. Because social media, they're growing up with social media, Instagram, all this stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of kids that are popular, get follows and tags. I mean, they're being raised in that temperament now.
Right.
So when they're in the 30s and 40s, are they gonna be? What happens if it goes away? Are they gonna be able to handle? Almost like a child star thing. You look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's up to the parents to like explain to their kids that and even the adults need to get this too. Like social media is not real life.
Right.
People, because I see people do this all the time. What you're doing is you're looking at somebody else's life through this lens, but through this, it's what they're allowing you to see.
Right.
So you see a couple, and you're like, oh, relationship goals. Well, online, yeah, it looks like bliss. But he could be beating her ass every Tuesday.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like she could be shitting in his coffee. You don't know what's going on.
Right.
You only see on social media what people allow you to see. So why are you looking at somebody else's life and be like, I want that? And then the microwave society we live in too. They'll see, you know, somebody be like, man, I want to be like that. But it took them 20 years to achieve that.
Right.
You know, you just see the now. You didn't see the ups and downs and what it took.
Bullshit they went through, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, whether you're talking about a career, relationships, whatever, like, it takes work to get wherever the hell, you know, they achieved. And
right.
all people see is the finished product. Like, I want that and I want that now.
Yeah,
it's
people they don't want to do the work. Like,
no.
I actually had a young comic ask me, is there any way to get better and get more work without doing all these open mics? He said,
no.
And I was, no.
I mean, you can blow up on you know, social media, but
yeah.
you're not going to get better.
Right, and you can't hold a show. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing a 30-minute show, which is a lot of stuff that's happening now because a lot of these social media kids are getting work, but they're going into these clubs and they can't hold a live show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're trying to do variety shows or they're bringing people. Yeah, they're eating it.
Yeah,
you have the only way to get better is to keep getting on stage. That's the only. There's no shortcuts.
The only. Yeah, it was the advice I got when I was younger that I was mad about. I was so mad. I was like, some guy told me just keep writing. I was like, well, that's stupid. I'm like, but then later I look back and I go, oh, actually, that made complete sense. You know?
That's all you can do.
Yeah,
you just keep living life and talking about your life experiences and keep going.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, but yeah, everybody wants a shortcut with everything. Everybody just wants a shortcut.
It's
like,
now, man.
But what's crazy is like, is that even rewarding? Like, part of the joy of winning is knowing all the shit I did paid off.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
And anything worth having is hard.
Right.
Like, anything worth doing is hard. So I'd be like, you guys just want to start here, but it's like, the joy of achieving this is you looking back.
Sure.
And, like, the journey's fun.
Yeah.
The journey of it all. And I was guilty of that when I first started out. And my dad actually helped me, like, put it in perspective. Because I hit the ground running kind of fast, like, early. And so I was just, like, winning. Like, I was in all the clubs in the Bay within my first year, like a paid regular at all these places. Like, I was winning every contest. Like, I was like, oh, this is going to be, I'll be famous in 4 years. You know, this is going to be great. And then I'm looking at, you know, the famous guys that I'm opening for or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to have that soon. And I just kept looking, you know, at the end. And then I would sometimes get frustrated or whatever. And my dad was like, hey, man, you've only been doing this for like a few years. And you got to appreciate like what you've accomplished already and just like the fun of what you're in. He said, if you dropped your phone somewhere, right, and somebody found it and they opened it and looked at the phone numbers in your phone and the people you talk to regularly, what do you think they would say? I was like, they would flip out. He was like, exactly. He was like, so relax.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy your opening for all these guys you watched on TV as a child, and you can call them. Like, calm down.
Right, right.
Like, this is, enjoy it. And from then on, I was just like, yeah. I just started enjoying, like, every time I met somebody or worked a new spot, I was like, this is cool. Like, and, like, going back to what you said about the making it thing, like, people would be like, when you feel like you're going to make it, it's like, the minute I started paying all my bills with this, I made it.
Yeah.
Like, this is my job.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I started doing the show. When I started out, I thought if you're like in your 30s, your 40s and you were working and nobody knew who you were, that you were a failure.
Right.
But then when you're out here, after you do it a while, you're like, that's the
goal.
That's the key to success.
Right.
It's like if you're 40 and you're still working, you're working, bro. This is a tough business to stay
right.
alive. You know what I mean?
So I was like,
so
I don't have no
fight.
I don't have no day job.
Yeah.
I don't have no, you know, everything. My kids want for nothing. My wife wants for nothing.
Yeah.
Bills are paid. Like, I was like, I've been made it.
Yeah,
I made it years ago.
Work when I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I take the weeks. I always get the holidays off I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You book your own
I've
shit.
been made it long time ago.
Right.
Like, a long time ago. So I was like, oh, yeah. And then it's just levels after that. Like, once you are, you know, you're living off it, then it's just, okay, well, at what level I'm living
it's like,
at? But as far as, like, did you achieve your dreams? Yeah, I did it. I am a working comedian, actor, and I pay all my bills with this. Like, yeah, I already won.
Right.
Is it picking up?
Yeah, we're good. I want to make sure my
audio
thing is good. I'm not screwing this up with the camera. I think I'm good. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, there was a conversation. Well, my ex and I, she understands it a little bit more now. My ex, but I used to drive her crazy. We were talking about this the other day too. She's like, she wants you to get. She always, she would say, I had the real job while you were a struggling artist. I was a road comic for 10 years before I met her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was already making a living, man. I go, you take she was taking 6 weeks a year on vacation. I go, you can vacation, bills are paid, kids are in private school.
Right.
Like, what are you thinking? I mean, and she was like, well, when are you going to get a TV show, that thing?
Right.
And I go, I don't know if I'll ever get a TV show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right now, I'm just happy I'm paying the bills. You know, I was able to raise 2 kids on this payroll.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, mine luckily doesn't do that. She's just like, we're good. Right?
Yeah.
We're good, then we're we're winning. And then, you know, obviously the more we make, the more, you know, stuff they want, stuff like that. But
right.
nah, once
Well, you got to sounds like, and you got a good balance. It sounds like too. You know what I mean? You're not gone for months at a time.
No, I refuse to do that.
That's smart, bro.
Max I'll do is a week, and because you can't. I feel like, you know, work will, and it sounds ridiculous because that's not true, but I feel like work will always be there. But you know, my kids are only 7 once.
Right.
You know, they're only that stuff I can't replace.
Right.
A gig, like if I decided to, I could work for a month straight and make up, you know, any money that I lost, I can recoup. You know, especially, you know, the pandemic taught us a lot of stuff. Like,
yeah, right.
money ain't shit.
Yeah.
I don't care about it.
Right.
You
None of
know,
it matters.
like I've never been a big money person like that anyway. And now when I started getting it, I realized, you know, nothing's changed as far as like what are you gonna eat out some more? Get some better cars? You know, like what is it really?
Yeah, I've gotten away from material shit years ago.
Yeah,
I was
like
almost like a minimalist. I'm like, so now it's just about taking care of the kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Getting them set for adults. You know, if I can get them a good layup or whatever. You know what I mean? Set them up for life. That's good. That seems good enough.
Yeah, money is. I'm like, I don't care. And people always say like, you know, they're like, oh, people who have it say that, and I'm like, no, I've always been like that.
Yeah.
I've just never cared.
Right.
Like, cause what? First of all, it's printed paper that they just made up and put a value on.
Right.
You know, money used to be rocks.
Yeah, when you get down to the analogy.
And then it was like animals, and then now it's just paper. It's just
really,
paper.
in reality, our money is a facade anyway.
Yeah, we don't have the gold.
Our U.S. money is not.
Yeah.
It used to be based on gold. Now it's
Yeah,
not.
we don't have
just
it.
kind of.
It's just paper.
It's this thin fucking line we've been walking for decades now, where we're so far in debt that eventually it's all going to blow up. You know what I mean? It's an illusionary thing that we've created. You know, that everybody just keeps building on.
And like, and then you stressing yourself over it, and when and it's like, at the end of the day, that's not even what happiness is. Like, you got your health.
Yeah.
You good? You know what I mean?
COVID, like you said, COVID fucking changed.
Yeah, like
look at that. There was like my daughters were living with me, man. I gotta be honest. It was just me and the kids. We got along. It was great. It was sort of the greatest 7 months. Me and the daughters, we were tight. You know, I mean, we did all kinds of stuff together.
Yeah.
You know, we thought we were gonna freak out, but we didn't. You know.
we were chilling. Me and my wife, we were hanging out with the kids all day, and then put them to bed. We'd be drinking, hanging out every night. It was like a date night, every freaking night.
Dude, it was almost kind of sad when it was over.
Yeah.
When the shifts went back, I was like, yay, and then I'm like, I could get. You know when I really started to wrap my head around retirement when that happened? I go, dude, I could do this forever. This is great. Like, this is the life. This is the way, you know.
We were chilling. I was like, man, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't spending nothing. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, when people did start going out a little bit, we were just hanging out with our friends more. Like, you know, you stay in your little circles.
Yeah.
And so we were hanging out with the same people. We were throwing, you know, dinner parties and whatnot. Everybody was just hanging out. Like, just, what y'all want to do today? Oh, let's have a barbecue. And just go to my mom's for a week, you know, hang out with the kids. Like, we were just chilling. We were just chilling. And, you know, it was a blessing in disguise. It made me get on the internet.
Yeah.
And so the internet, you know, was paying my bills the whole pandemic.
Yeah, good for you. That blew up, man. I had the streaming stuff going, but your social media's fucking taking the shit.
It just hit because everybody was on their phones. Like, I noticed everybody who consistently posted during the pandemic, they all blew up.
Right.
Because no one was doing anything.
Right.
So people who normally would be at work or, you know, with the kids or whatever, they were just in their phones. And you know, for me, it wasn't a big deal, but I didn't realize how much everybody else needed to be entertained, to be in there. Like, I was chilling.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, when we came out of the pandemic, like, we would do, you know, when we got back to live shows and stuff, like, the response to people was like, you don't know how much watching y'all do this every day, like, helped me. We were fucking sad, and we were like, and I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that kind of pressure. You know what I mean? Like laughter, you know, laughter, music, things like that, like, what it does for people it's crazy.
Right.
And, you know, we just be like, I'm just an idiot up here talking. You know, that's how we look at it. And people be like, nah, you saved my life, man. Like, hey, you know, you be like, oh.
No, I got a ton of followers that watch this show all the time.
Yeah.
And during COVID, I did a version of this. It was quarantine comedy. I did like 200 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. And dude, that people still watch. They're like, dude, you have no idea you got us through COVID.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, you got me through COVID. I got news for you, you know? Then you joined my Patreon page and other stuff. And I'm like, thank you. I mean, I had to do something too. But man, people needed entertainment so much.
So much.
I mean? It was insane.
And they didn't even care what it was. Like, we just watch you guys be, you know, hang out.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
My boy to hear more, he started zooming with the homies. So one night we're chilling, and somebody texted me and they're like, "Yo, get on this Zoom call right now." And I was like, "For what?" And they're like, "We're just a bunch of comedians. We're just hanging out." And I was like, "All right." And I'm already drunk. I'm drunk and high. I'm out of here. You know, we ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
Kids asleep. Me and the wife are zooted. You know, we're gone. And so I literally, you know, I have no shirt on. Do rags on. Like I'm in the house.
Yeah.
So I hop on this Zoom call. It's hella comedians. Like 10, 11, 12,
Yeah.
13. And we're just talking. And 2 hours into the conversation, I realized he's live on his YouTube page.
Right.
And we're being watched by 2,000 people.
Oh, no shit.
And I'm
Yeah.
talking reckless. I'm just out of it. And then, so he did it again like a couple nights later. And then he made it like a regular TV show. So it was like every single night.
Right.
And people were just zooming in, just watching this comedian conference call pretty much. We're hanging out, topics, blah, blah. And then it became like a show. And he's still doing it now. And people love it. And it introduced them to comics they didn't know. And, everybody's follower. People were, grabbing everybody else's fan bases because they're like, oh,
Yeah,
now,
right.
I didn't know who this was. And now it was fun. It was super fun. And it started out as just man, we ain't talked. Like, everybody hop on this call. And then it became like a whole thing. And then everybody had like their characters. Everybody had like their fan bases in the chats and stuff like that. It was crazy. It was.
Yeah, that's what this show during COVID. I did this show live. I did it for a while. I did it every night, and then I did it once a week. But it was the same thing. You could interact with people and really chat. You know what I mean? And then what I'll do sometimes when if we're in a port, I'll do it live from a port and tape it, and then put the episode up on Tuesday on YouTube.
Right.
And then my Patreon fan base gets to watch the
Right.
live feed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they get to just ask questions and say stuff. And yeah, it was great. There was a ton of interaction going on during that time. You know what I mean?
So much.
I had people popping in that I hadn't seen, talked to in years or seen.
Yeah.
I had different comics, and I could send a link. Like, I didn't do Zoom. I use this OBS platform where I can send you a link, and it's almost like CNN, where I just feed you right in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The only thing I never did, I didn't do, what was the thing that it got popular for like a split second, everybody got off of it? What was that thing called?
What? There's a platform, social media?
Yeah, it was like everybody got on it for a minute and then got off. I never really got on it.
Oh,
what was that thing called?
oh, not the. Oh no! Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of the name at all.
Damn it! I was on it too. I was on it for a while.
Yeah, they were like,
Buddy
oh,
of mine
man.
ran a channel on there.
They was like, you got to get on there. They're CEOs, giving
Yeah, it was
nuggets.
some sort of app, right? It was like
What the hell was that thing
I
called?
don't know. It's making me crazy now.
Yeah, but I got on it twice, and I was like, I'm good. Like,
It was a weird. It was.
I can't think of the
I can't
name.
think of it either.
But you know what I'm talking about.
No, it was. I was on it for a while. I was gonna run a show on one of the channels. It kind of It showed up during COVID and then just disappeared. And then when COVID was over, it was kind of pointless because it was mainly audio, right? It was just like a radio,
audio.
not really radio, but it was live streaming audio is what it was. But
Yeah, they tried, and I was just like, this is dumb.
but
and
it came and went quick too, right?
Yeah,
I forgot all about
because-
that, dude. I can't remember the name of this.
because it came on too late, and it was just like people were just talking.
Right.
And it wasn't even like, there was a lot of people talking over each other, a lot of arguing, a lot of like it seemed like too when I was like I would peek into something, it seemed like a lot of like messy stuff. Like this comedian talking shit about this comedian and or a random person doing it. It was just like, all right, this is not for me. That's not
Yeah, there were
my thing.
shows with themes, I remember, and then they had rules you had to follow where you could chime in. I did a couple of them. I did a few of them. There was a roast for someone that when Carl LeBeau died, there was a big thing.
Okay.
Because I went out and said something about Carl. But yeah, I don't remember. It was like there was a ton of shows that were shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had all these different channels with shows, and after a while, you realize it was just like listening to a phone call, and you were like,
yeah, and that's why I was like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah,
like, it was so many people too. It'd be so many people in a room, and I would just be like, no.
Right.
Like, I'd rather do something else.
You're right, because there were a couple seminar things I was standing.
Yeah, there were
with
seminar
people that were like,
things.
you see, like you said, big company people or bank money guys on money. Like I try to watch the stuff a lot about money because I don't know shit about money.
Yeah.
But he'll start talking about investing
And then I was like, who are these people?
right.
Like who? Like this is I'm just listening to some guy. I don't know if he really has money. I
Right.
don't know if he really like who is this?
And like one person would come in and run like 8 different shows. And
Right.
you know what I mean? That was like their thing. And you're like, but it disappeared so fast. It was gone.
Yeah, and like nobody's on. I heard it might still be going around, but nobody I know is on that thing.
I wonder if I have the app on my phone still.
I don't have it. I had it for like a week and I got off. And it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't I can't think of it. What the hell was that thing called?
I used to.
You need to hop on.
Damn, I can't remember either.
Hop on.
It has something to do with Twitter, maybe. I don't remember.
No. Everybody's like, no, you need to get on this new thing. You need to get on. Shit.
It was such a big deal.
I can't think of it.
Dude, I know. It's making me crazy.
You need to get on not Discord. Discord's a different thing. It wasn't Twitter. It wasn't TikTok. I don't know. And
Yeah.
if I keep thinking about it, it's going to mess me up. Yeah. So, and then, you know, it's funny. Somebody in the comments they're gonna know exactly what we're talking about, and they're gonna say it, and I just can't think of this shit. It's annoying me.
Yeah, I don't even know. I want to go online and figure out what it is.
Yeah, like I can't go on my app store because I don't have it. Whatever. Well, everybody was on that shit. Like in conclusion,
Everybody cared about it.
yeah. In conclusion, people got on that shit, and then
Yeah, I don't remember what else
it
called.
was over.
Yeah, 'cause Scott Henry ran a channel on there. There was a comedy channel on there.
Yeah.
So he did a couple of different shows. And I pitched him a couple ideas I was gonna do shows, but then I go, I don't want to do the time. I don't want to do it. I'm like, I don't see committing to this. You know.
That's the only thing that sucks about trying to build fan bases and whatnot, like the commitment to do something weekly or like it's
Yeah.
like that's a job.
Yeah.
That's a job, and it was easier to do that job when I needed that for the money, and you know everybody was on their phones, like blah, blah. And then when the world opened back up, I was like, I don't have the time to
Right.
sit and commit to doing this like all the time. Like it was just like so much work.
Well, if I wasn't a comic, I don't know if I'd be on social media.
I wouldn't.
You know what I mean? Because it's you're right. This show, between this show and my post, I post something, 5-6 times a week. You got to make sure you're getting content out there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, man.
And sometimes the content kind of falls in your lap, and it's not that hard. Like me and my brothers were talking about. I got my vasectomies on Monday.
Yeah.
And
you do, or you got?
I got one on Monday. It's coming up. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
and
wow. All right.
So I texted my brothers like I'm freaking out, and then we had this funny ass convo, and I just screenshotted the convo and put it up.
Yeah.
And people are dying laughing, like, because I was like, this is what men's group chats are really like.
Oh, right.
I was like, you guys think we're in here talking about? And I was like, we're literally talking about mud flaps. Like, what if we had balls with no balls in them?
Right.
Like just all scrotum. Like it was just scrotum and shaft. That'd be so weird.
Like a bunch of 5-year-old boys.
Yeah, and that's weird. And it went left so fast. And this is how immature men are, because I literally went in there like, yo, I'm kind of freaking out. And my brother was like, it's not like they take the balls too. I was like, nah, I'm just saying, like, the paint, what if the numbing doesn't work or whatever? And then I was like, but I don't even want the balls. Like, they can take the balls. And my brother was like, you just want deflated? And then we just went down. I was like, no, I just want to be all shaft.
Yeah,
like, no
just
balls,
straight
just
shaft.
shaft. And my brother was like, could they just take the balls? And I was like, well, that'd be weird, because then you'd have the mud flaps.
Right.
And then it would just be like penis in a flap. I was like
Yeah.
a cape.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what I mean? It'd be like a superhero.
Like your dick's gonna.
Yeah, like a cape. And then I was like, can you imagine how weird that would be if I was like, I'm with a girl and I'm like, oh, you ready for Doctor Strange? And she's like, what? And I take it out and it's just like scrotum cape and penis.
What the fuck?
And my brother was like, Doctor, what? And then he's like, but that's a good name, because she'd be like, this is the strangest things I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
right,
And I
right.
was like, we just went down a whole rabbit hole. Then my brother started talking about, he was like, you would look like a walking dildo. And I was like, yeah. And they was like, why do they have balls on dildos? And we just went from there. And then they were like, can you imagine some girl like giving head to a dildo? Because the studs do that.
Right.
And then she's like, oh, suck my balls. She was like, I am. He was like, oh, I couldn't
Oh,
feel it.
I didn't know.
I was just saying it, like, and we just kept going. And I just put it up. I was like, this is the dumbest
This
conversation.
is grown men having.
And
a
it
conversation.
started with, I'm really kind of scared. And it
Right.
just went down the rabbit hole of like just stupid, hilarious talking. I was like, we're children.
Dude, so you're getting the big snip on Monday, huh?
Oh
When you
yeah,
home?
out of here.
I should do that. I was thinking about doing that. And I got a buddy of mine that did it.
My brother did it.
Yeah.
My brother did it. One of my best friends did it. One of my teammates did it. Actually a lot of dudes that I know
Yeah.
have done it. And they have their kids. They have, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it was just on some shit like, I feel like we live in a day and age now where, I don't know if I can say most, because I read comments on the internet. People are still stupid. But a lot of dudes are more, like, they're not so they realize it's way more risky for the woman to get her thing done than ours.
Right.
Ours is an outpatient surgery. Like you just go in there and do
like
it.
a day or two later.
You're out of there, and they have to get the whole thing done. The only way it's chill for them is if they just gave birth and everything's already in there, where they can just go in there and. Because I know this girl, she said that's how she did hers when she got her tubes tied. She was already completely. So she was like, "Well, just you're in there, just while you're at it, shut this shit down." You know what I'm saying?
No more.
But us, it's like, it's just a little incision, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, you're in and out, man.
You're in and out of there. So I was like, oh, I'll do that rather than put her through all this, shit. And we don't want no more kids. So I'm like,
that's the thing too. You don't want to accidentally have a kid.
Nah, hell no. Not now too, because everything's like going great now.
Right.
Like my youngest is about to be 6.
Yeah.
They're self-sufficient.
No, I would never want to go through baby again.
No, babies are trash.
Dude, that was a rough. Those first 2 years or whatever. 3
Oh,
years.
those first 3 are just trash.
I do a bit about where you got to constantly carry him around. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, you got a diaper bag.
Oh my god.
It was. I remember not being able. I remember the first time I went out and not had to carry the diaper bag. It was the best.
And then my youngest, he's almost out of his car seat too, so no more of that shit.
Yeah, that's gone too.
No more. It's just the less supplies. You're just carrying less and less supplies.
And in your house, you have to childproof shit. You know what I mean?
The older they get, and then they're more self-sufficient. My son gets done eating, put that in the dishwasher, bro. Like,
they start cleaning up after.
Yeah, I'm like, and go brush your teeth, go get ready for bed. Like they just do it, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go back to a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst. People are like, babies are so cute. I'm like, when they're not yours.
I wish we had. We had a
suck.
friend that loved to come over and she loved to play with the kids, but they like the aunt syndrome or the aunt and uncle. They love that. It's fun.
Right. You get to go home.
You're the one that's there 2 in the morning when they're throwing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of work, man. It's constant work. Yeah, I would never want to go through baby.
Oh,
that's
hell
the worst.
No. And then the only way we didn't even want a third anyway, unless we could guarantee it'd be a girl.
Right.
But we didn't want to take the risk. We didn't want to play the numbers because I have 3 siblings, all boys.
Yeah.
I had 2 boys. My brother had a boy. Like my other brother, he had a girl and he's having a second girl. But we always knew he'd be the one to have the girl. But everybody else in my family, it's boy heavy. Like the reason why my last name, there's so many of us because there's just so many boys. Like my dad's, their generation before them, it was like 9 boys and 2 girls. So there's so many Polees because it's just like everybody just be having boys all the time. And I was like, man, I don't want to have it. If I had a third boy, that'd just be like a waste to me. Like it's just like, why? Like I already have 2.
Yeah.
And so I was like, nah, and then we just kind of waited too late. And I was like, I'm shutting it down. And she was like, yeah, shut it down.
Yeah, now when they're 7 and 5,
if we would have did it, 4 years ago, it is what it is. You
can't do it all in a run.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is what it is. But now,
someone told me, I knew someone that had twins, and they were telling me a similar situation. Like if you think about it, because you got 2 kids at once after that,
right?
And you have 1 kid, it's a cakewalk. But then you get it all done in a short period of time, and then you get rid of your shit. Whatever, the rocker and all that.
Right. We don't have nothing. We don't have no babies. Like when people be like, oh, you guys, like some of my friends are having babies now. And we like, I was like, I got nothing for you, bro. That was 5 years ago for me.
Gone. You got rid of all that shit.
Yeah, they got beds. They got underwear. They got, you know what I mean? I don't know what diapers are anymore and shit like that. Like,
I hear you, bro. I give away all my shit. They start handing it down.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Then now I'm cleaning out a fucking closet. You know what I mean? I don't have to hang on to the rocker or the chair or the thing.
And we had 3 strollers at one point.
Yeah.
Because somebody would get you one, and then she's like, "No, I want the one with the wheels. So I can go on my runs and jaws." And then, now we have 2. We need this one. And it's like we got rid of all kind of, and we had all high end stuff because people were just getting us like really nice gifts.
Right.
So like the stroller and my wife.
Strollers are badass now.
And even our car seats. The
whole thing.
We had everything and. She didn't want to get rid of it because she was like, "This is too expensive to just get rid of."
Yeah.
I want to sell this stuff or hand it to somebody who needs it. I want to just throw. She was hell bent on like not throwing stuff away.
Right.
Until somebody had a baby, and then she would give them. She was like, "This shit's expensive. Like we're not throwing this shit away."
Yeah, it costs an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
You're only going to use it for a couple of years. But,
Then they try to make a law like you can't reuse this stuff. Fuck out of here.
They can't what?
You can't reuse it.
Who said that?
That's what like on the car seats and stuff. It's like, oh, you can't give
really?
Stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great corporate fucking.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Out of here.
You must buy new product. What?
Yeah, no. Like if you try to donate like a car seat, they won't take it.
Oh, to like a Goodwill and shit.
Yeah, they won't take it. Won't
really?
take a car seat. It could be brand spanking new. It could be all the bells, but they will not take it.
Really?
You have to get your own cars. I was like, man, please. So we gave ours away. My little cousin uses our old one now, and then once we get rid of this one. I just need him to gain a little more weight. As soon as he gains a little more weight, we're out of there. Just booster seats, and it's just easier. Like, put the seatbelt on,
Yep.
Roll out, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't miss any of that crap.
Nah, it's trash.
No, we had all those the seat that connected to the stroller. You popped it right out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of overhead with a kid.
So much.
Yeah, you don't realize it, man. You're fucking overwhelmed going in. You know, you start buying shit. I remember the showers. That's why they have showers. You know what I mean? Everybody buys your shit.
Right.
You know, otherwise, you're constantly going through stuff.
And like you said, you use it for a little bit. They grow so fast. It's just like, oh, this is done.
Yeah.
Like, this is all the toys they bought, the little walkers and all that. They use it for a split second. Next thing you know, they're running all over the place.
You know what else, too? You can't donate or give away stuffed animals, stuffed toys.
Oh, I don't know that.
No, if you go to Goodwill, they won't take them because they said it's a safety issue or a health issue or something. Because that was the thing, it was stuffed animals out the ass. I mean, we had a whole room full of stuffed animals. We just kept getting them shit. And they were all over our house. Everywhere you went was nothing. So at one point, I'm not kidding you, 5 hefty bags of fucking stuffed animals that we got rid of.
Yeah.
Just because you don't need them anymore.
Nope. No, I stay going through their rooms, getting rid of stuff. Like, when I start looking around the room, I'm like, what do you... But now they're so used to it. I'm like, all right, guys, it's a, I call it spring cleaning, but it's not spring cleaning. It's just, I'm like, all right, guys, what do you play with still and what do you don't want? And they'll make their piles. They'll be like, you can get rid of all this, Dad. We don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, they're not real attached.
Good.
They're not one of those kids like, no, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm like, what do you not play with anymore? All right, we can get rid of this, we can get rid of that. And I put it in their heads too, like, this is going to someone who might not have toys, or so they're like, oh, I want somebody to be able to play with this. Like, so they're like, I'm teaching them, like, there might be somebody less fortunate, yada, yada, yada. So they like giving certain stuff away.
Yeah, so they feel like they're good. They
feel like they're doing. But sometimes, like, they'll be like, we're done with this one. I'm like, hey, I just bought that. Like, then it's me, like, no, man, I just gave you that. This is brand new. They're like, we don't play with it. I'm like, oh, all right, well, fine.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, so, yeah, they're real good about, they're good kids. They're good about everything. Like, when I say shut the iPad down, they shut it down. There's no fuss. There's no fight. There's no, I'm playing it. Like, no, they're really good about. I mean, I set the tone early. I didn't fuck around.
Yeah, dude.
But,
like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? But that's how you do it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You grow up that way, so they know.
Yeah, they know when I say that's it.
Right.
Ain't no talking back. Ain't no.
Right.
All right, and they just move on to the next thing. Like, we have days where we're like, no electronics today. Okay, we'll play with our toys, or we'll go outside.
Well, they're even keel like you. You were just saying you grew up. You kind of.
No, my oldest is emotional as fuck. He just, when it comes to that stuff, he's not gonna act a fool.
Oh right, okay.
But as far as like, he's just an emo kid. He's a really sweet kid, and he's just emo. Like, he was looking at our wedding pictures. And I look over and he has tears in his eyes.
Oh no, really?
It's like, and me and my wife are like trying not to laugh at him.
Right. Oh yeah.
And we're like, what's going on? He was like, it's just beautiful.
Really?
Like, he's so emo. Like, he's so emo. It's hilarious.
Wow.
It's hilarious. My youngest one is more like, like when their pets die.
Yeah.
And they've lost a couple fish, a turtle.
Right.
And I'd be like, they died. They'd be like, no, all right.
Jeez.
That's life. Things happen.
Weird. My oldest, they lost a dog just a few months ago. It was with their aunt. It was staying with their aunt, but my oldest was really attached to this dog. She raised that dog, and she's still not over it. In fact, she won't get another dog. I keep telling. We moved. One of the reasons I moved is I wanted to move a place where she could get a dog. Right. Right. And I go, you can get a dog, man. She goes, I don't want it right now. I'm not over Pinky. And she tells me all the time. I'm like, all right, I'll do whatever. Take your time. And my youngest has always been kind of like an empath. Like, I think I mentioned to you the other day. She can feel, like, if you're upset, she feels it.
Oh, okay.
She just automatically, like, you can't hide shit from her.
Yeah.
She'll go, are you okay? What's wrong? I go, nothing. Why? Because, no, are you sure? She'll know. Oh, okay, well, here's what happened. She just feels it. So she'll get emotionally, you know what I mean? She's moved emotionally that way.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids are, that oldest is just, and it's funny because he's also a very tough kid, though.
Right.
Like, at 1 minute he could be crying over a wedding, but then, get hit in the face with a baseball and just run back out there and go again. Like, he's had a very good balance. Because I didn't want to ruin, because, especially you have boys, everything's about toughen up. Toughen up. And I didn't want to ruin his sweet demeanor. Like, he's a nice kid, So I was like, how do I balance his niceness and his caring for others? Like, he's the kind of kid that he'll go sit with somebody at lunch if they don't have any friends. You
really?
know, like he's that person. I was like, I
Caring.
don't want to take,
Totally
I was like, I
caring.
don't want to
That's
take that
good,
from
man.
him. But also
Yeah.
when I'm trying to teach him, and he's getting it now. When we're playing sports, you flip a switch.
Right.
That's not your friend anymore. You know, after the game,
Right.
you know, and when it's sports time though, don't be happy go like. But now his competitive nature's kicked in
Right,
and all
right,
that. So
right.
like when he's playing, it's time to go.
Oh, that's good.
And then when you
Alright.
get off, be the nice, sweet, you know,
Yeah.
just learn how to turn it on and off. You know,
Yeah.
so now he has a better balance and he's tougher. He's real tough. Like he'll get hurt and run right back out there. I mean,
Right.
every single time. Even I'd be like, oof, you sure? You sure? And he'd be like, yeah, let's go again. Like the other day we had a family event. And the first thing he's at the age now where wherever we go, the first thing, do they get a ball? He's that kid running around.
All right.
like-
Yeah.
And they were outside playing football, and I just see my wife come in. She's got something on his head. He has tears in his eyes, and I guess he fell on these cement blocks, hit his
Ooh.
head. You know, got a cut, a little lump,
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm like, well, we gotta ice that. You know, how you feel? He's, I'm going outside. I was like, well, let me just. No, I'm good. Let me just. So
Shaking it off.
yeah,
right?
like so he'll cry, and then he'll be like, yeah, but whatever. Like, and he ran right back out, and he
Right.
just. You know, I was like, all right, well, then.
Dude, that's a boy. That's
Yeah,
a classic boy.
I'm
you know what I
like,
mean?
all right, bro. You know,
I'm good. You run back.
Yeah, and run back out. But then, you know, next thing you know, what happened? Well, it's just sometimes, you know, like it's just like crying over the most random thing. It's like he's a character, and the little one's just kind of like, nah, I don't care.
There's both my oldest is tough. It's like I always tell him. I joke. My youngest hates when I say this. My oldest could fall down a flight of stairs and break a leg and go, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. My youngest would stub her toe and cry for 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's just I'll look at her. I'm like, why are you still crying? Why? And it's just everything is monster.
Right.
But Anna, I'm telling you, you can hit her in the head. She's like, all right, I'm good.
Right.
It's just incredible toughness for her. You know.
Kids are very interesting, and how they all come from the, you know, you can raise people in the same house and they're all completely
Dude,
different.
I love the different personalities. They're the same but different.
Yeah.
You know, you probably notice the same thing with your boys. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
the same
and
but
me and my
different.
brothers were all same parents, same mom, same dad, in
Yeah.
the same house, and
Yeah.
we're just completely different people.
Yeah.
like, all of us. And it's just interesting, like
And
how
you're
that
born
happens.
different, dude. It's a real. It's you
Yeah.
can tell it when they're babies.
Yeah.
You know, I knew immediately when Lily was little. I could tell she was totally different than Anna.
Mm-hmm.
There's just little shit like that. It really blows you away how the personality can shift so drastically
Right.
from one to the other.
Yeah, it's just it's super interesting. Super interesting. People just be like that. It's like I am who I am. You know, I am. That's a real thing. Like you are who you are. I don't like it when people use it for an excuse to be a piece of shit. But like,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Don't blame shit on it.
Yeah.
You know. Well, that's just blah blah blah.
Like, well, we'll change that. You know,
yeah.
fix
yeah,
it. That's,
go back to what we're saying.
Yeah,
earlier.
fix that
It's
shit.
your choice. It's your choice.
like, I hate that shit. Like, well, you know I'm like this. You know, well, stop
Yeah,
being
my
like that.
brother does that too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just being me. I go, don't be me.
right. Well, be somebody else because you suck.
There's like something happened on Thanksgiving. This is weird. We had a conversation and the girls weren't comfortable with it. Here's the other thing is with these kids, they're Generation Z, they processed stuff differently than we did when we were
Yeah.
growing up. Plus, like girls or daughters, we had a conversation the girls didn't like. They had a problem with we were being comics, we were just dicking around.
Right.
And so I said to my brother, like, hey, you know what? The girls were offended by this conversation, and he was all mad. I was like, well, what the fuck? I go, well, maybe understand they're 20-year-old women,
Yeah.
and they're not like little kids anymore, and maybe there's some stuff we shouldn't talk about in front of them.
Right.
Well, that's bullshit. I go, no, it's not bullshit. Like,
No.
I'm respecting their wishes.
Right.
You know, they're women. They're becoming. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to connect with this generation and respect them and not be like, fuck you, get over it. I'm dad or whatever.
Right.
But my brother is like, well, then I just won't come over anymore because he's one of those guys. I go,
Right.
well, then fine. Then if that's what you're gonna do, or
Right.
just try not to act that way. I mean, how hard is it to?
And
not-
I get it, there's a happy medium. You know, okay, what did I say that offended you? Like, why did this? You know, like.
right.
There's a conversation within that where some people get so pissed because you have the people on this side is like, I'm offended, and it's like, okay, but maybe you're tripping a little bit, and then
Right.
the other person's like, well, I'll say what the fuck I want. I was like, well, maybe you're tripping a little bit.
Right.
Like, what's the happy
There's a
medium?
middle ground, yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
what's the
middle
middle ground? Why'd you get mad at this? Okay, well, this is what I meant by this, and you know, this is life, and
Right.
but also I understand where you're coming from. You know, yada
Yeah.
yada yada. Like, and then people act like you have to. You can see where somebody's coming from and get it and not agree with it,
Sure.
but still like be like, fine, if
But
that's what
respect
respect it.
Right.
You know, like there's a lot of new age shit I don't understand,
Right.
but at the same time, like if that's what you want to be called, fine.
Right.
That's not a problem. For
Right.
me.
It's just a matter of.
Do I think it's completely stupid? Yes.
Yes.
But if that's what you want to do, that is
Yeah, that's
fine.
right.
I
That's your
respect
thing.
that. That's good.
Right.
We're good. Like
Right.
the problem I find people have though is like let's say somebody says that, like, if that's what you want to be called, I'll call that. But they want you, but you have to understand it the way I do. No, the fuck I don't.
No, yeah, don't.
No, I don't.
No,
I can respect you.
They want you to agree with it.
Right. I can respect you without agreeing.
Right.
You can respect me without agreeing.
Well, this is why, like, whatever. Yeah, even you should believe what I believe.
Right.
No, I don't.
No.
I'll respect you and I'll do what you want, but
Right.
I don't believe.
No, I don't think that.
Well, then you're part of the problem. All right.
No,
I don't know.
because I'm respecting. I'm doing what you're asking.
If anything, that's a higher form of, you know.
Right.
You can't make me believe something.
Right. Like, you can't make me see it the way you see it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not gonna.
And I don't expect you to see things the way I see it.
100%. Yeah, no, you used to agreeing to disagree or whatever.
And it's okay.
A doable thing.
Everybody doesn't have to be on the same page to respect and love people.
Right.
You don't have to be on the same page like that. And people, like you said, they want you to be like, no, you have to feel it. You have to think it the way I do. And it's like,
I think our fucking politics and media have pushed us in this area.
Yeah.
Where everyone's you gotta believe this. If you don't believe it, you're wrong.
Right.
You're part of the problem.
Right.
Or you're a racist if you don't do, or a sexist. If,
or you're like, I mean, I saw everybody show their ass over the last couple of years between COVID and the election. I saw people just show their ass.
Right.
I just saw people. I was like, you guys are acting like complete maniacs. And it's so unnecessary.
Right. Yeah, right. No,
it was
making a big scene out of everything.
What cracked me up about the whole COVID thing is everybody I saw arguing, not one person was a doctor.
Right.
Not one person was a scientist. But everybody knew everything.
Yeah.
Whether they were on this side or this side, and it's like, none of you know shit.
Right.
And the people who are supposed to know shit, they don't know shit. They keep changing. So why don't you everybody just chill out? If somebody wants to get a shot, let them get that shot. If they don't want to get it, that's none of your business. If they like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Just chill out. Yeah. Like, and then you say that, and people are like, "You're anti-vax." No, I never said any of that. I said, do whatever you want to do.
Well, they
that's
try
what
to
I
shame
said.
you. Where they go, what if my grandfather was high risk? Well, then maybe grandfather should stay home.
Yeah,
he should stay home.
And
I
that's
was
okay.
never like, I got the shot early because I had to work. That's why I got it. I would have not got the shot if I didn't have to. But I knew a lot. I have friends that never got it.
Yeah.
And I get along with them fine. It never bothered me. I was like, if you don't have to get the shot, you don't have to get the shot.
It's this like,
they made you believe that you'll let people die.
What are you talking about?
Turn it down a notch. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, and then the intensity which everybody speaks with, no matter what the topic.
Right.
You could be shooting the shit about. You ever see somebody like argue Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron? Like the passion. I'm like, none of them know you. You can't prove any of this shit. And I'm a huge sports fan.
Right.
You cannot. Right. You can't get a time machine and make Jordan 30 again.
Right.
You can't bring Kobe back from the dead. You can't make LeBron 30. You can never. They'll never play this fictitious one-on-one king of the court game that you want them to play. So what are you doing? Well, just relax.
Yeah.
And it's this inert, like, it's this desire, like, you have to choose a team.
Well, people,
you have to choose a side.
It's like they don't want to try to understand. Like, first of all, the game was played differently.
Right.
Different rules changed. Football's an even better example.
Right.
This guy's a great receiver. Well, this guy's a great receiver now because in the old days, you can
decapitate him.
Or
yeah.
him or take your head off, right? Where you could hold a guy by the face mask. You know what I mean? The rules have changed.
Right.
So there's no way to look at older players.
It's impossible to compare eras in anything.
And if you think about it logically, if LeBron's obviously a great player. If he played in that decade, he would learn to adjust to the game.
And I think that's the thing that people don't understand is like, they're like, the game's softer now. Well, yeah, they flop because they can.
Yeah.
But you're telling me LeBron at 6'8", 250 would have a problem playing rough? I don't think so.
No, I think he'd been
fine. I think he'd be okay. Like, I think he'd be fine.
The drug bad boys would be a problem. You know what I mean?
So people just do that. And that can apply to everything. I had to catch myself one time when it came to, like, I watched the Elvis movie. And just things of that nature, just the times were like, I'm like, in my mind, a 20-something-year-old dating a 15-year-old, I'm like, that's fucking sick. Like, that's just it, blah, blah. But the further, I can't compare now how we think to the Romans or, to even the 50s, or it's different. They didn't see nothing wrong with it, not men or women.
Right.
They didn't see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
So it's like, I can't be like, in 2023, be like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Plus, the life expectancy was different.
It was different. Everything was just different.
Back then or whatever,
yeah, so it's like, you read old stories of King Henry, like they're marrying, a 12-year-old. Well, they're gonna die, like you said, in 20 years. So
and for them, it was about keeping the family line, the bloodline.
Right.
So they would
all the incest, we're like, ugh.
Yeah, right, right.
But
they just had a boy. I got a boy. There's another king.
Right. And so it's like, it's hard, when it comes to eras of anything, you have to think how they thought back then.
Right.
And it's just like, well, you know,
Well, it's the same shit.
it is
You know,
what it is.
with movies are like that because there's movies in a song. You know that song, the "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Yeah, yeah.
That was a big deal, and they
Right.
ran the song and all this
Right.
stuff. And I'm like, well, think about when it was written,
Right.
or like another what's the movie that Robert Downey Jr. plays a black guy playing.
That movie's so fucking funny.
Dude,
Tropic Thunder.
Oh my god, that movie's funny.
That movie's funny.
I
That
love
didn't really catch a lot of steam though. They tried it, but even black people,
yeah.
even black people were like, no, that character was fucking hilarious.
it was hilarious.
And if you're intelligent enough, you realize the purpose of that character
Sure.
was to show that Hollywood would rather book a white
That's
guy
the whole point,
in
yeah.
blackface than hire a black person.
Exactly.
Like that's the point.
That's the point.
And
right.
like people just got over like we got to cancel everything. It's like no, if you realize what they were doing,
Right.
it was making fun of how Hollywood would rather be.
Right.
Like, and that character was hilarious
Oh, it was very
because it was so ridiculous that this
Right.
white dude
Right.
is in blackface trying to play
what
like
do you mean, you people?
that shit was so funny. And like, and even like, I hate that yeah, they try to go back and like, I like what they're doing on Netflix and Disney. Like, this movie was made at this time. Like, they don't cancel anything. They
That's
just put the,
smart.
put
Right,
the
no, that's
disclaimer
what I'm bringing
up.
Right.
This was
They
okay
took
back
Gone
then.
with the Wind off of HBO for a while. I don't know if they still did it, but
I don't know.
because of it. Well, because
Yeah.
of the slave stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, you got to be able to watch. Or Tarantino's another good example.
Right.
So take shots at Tarantino's early movies.
He's definitely
You can't-
obsessed.
You can't release. Yeah, he's crazy.
He's obsessed with the N-word. He's obsessed.
Yeah.
But
But you can't.
Whatever.
Telling people that it's the warning
right.
is fine.
Yeah, I'm like, don't cancel anything.
No.
Just be like, this
It's
is
art,
what we
man.
did.
Yeah.
Especially when, honestly, you know, I've been going back. I've been on a big, you know, 80s and 90s hype when it comes to movies. I just been going back watching others. This shit was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because they could just do whatever. They could just go there and like
Right.
things that people are offended. I'm like, man, this shit is funny.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is.
Well,
Like
they suck the funny out of a lot of movies, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's
really hard to do
funny.
a good comedy now. There's so many things that they're so
you're
afraid
like you
to
can't say
approach
that.
and-
It's like why not? Like it's hilarious, especially if they're handing it out evenly.
yeah.
If everybody's catching it, if black is
Yeah.
catching it, white catching it, gays, like,
Yeah, yeah.
well then shit, everybody caught it.
Everybody
Like,
gets a shot, right.
you know, I could see if the movie was whole, you just picking on one thing. Fine, maybe,
Yeah.
you know. But if
Yeah.
everybody's catching it in that movie, like those old Chevy Chase movies and shit like
Yeah.
that, like everybody was getting it.
Right.
And it was funny. Like
Right.
I'm like, this
It's
shit
like a
is
Don Rickles act.
yeah.
Don Rickles took hack to everybody. I saw him live twice. He hit
Everyone's getting it.
Black, Asian, white, you don't care. Polish. He just kept going at you.
And it's funny. Like I watched the first Family Vacation. I was in tears. Like 'cause it was just subtle things that are just like, you know, when they pulled into the black neighborhood in St. Louis and they robbed the car and everything. But
Yeah.
I didn't even, you know, it was a few scenes ahead when he when he pulls out and you see they wrote honky lips on the car. Like I had to pause the movie. I could not stop laughing. I'm like, who does that? But it was so funny. It was so funny. I was like, man, this stuff, they got to bring this stuff back. 'Cause it's funny to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's hilarious.
I can't think of a comedy that recently that's come out that I've really gotten into. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Like movie-wise.
No.
Dude, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, socials, man. Hit me with what do you want me to? You know what I mean? Advertise yourself?
I'm at it's KeonPolee on everything. I'm the only one on earth with my name, first and last name.
Dude, right
So
on.
Keon Polee, you can find my website's KeonPolee.com, at Keon Polee on all the socials. Keon Polee, I think if you just type it on YouTube, all my stuff will pop up. Like it's just my name
Nice.
on everything.
Dude, that's good. Right on. All right, man. Thank you, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, of course. I'm glad it's worked out.
For sure.
You're still watching? That's amazing. Nobody does that. Nobody, but you did. That means you want more. Pick one of these clips. Go for it. I dare you. Hey, also follow one of those social media thingies.